Hello, wrestling fans. Welcome to another episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic, episode 325. I am your host, Lance Brock, for Sunday, November 6th, 2022. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. Wherever you are listening, whatever you are listening to on, whether it's YouTube, and hopefully the main site Spreaker. But if you're listening to on another website or a podcatcher, thank you. And got quite a bit to talk about on today's episode. A lot of stuff going on in the world of professional wrestling. And first, I wanted to talk about last Thursday night. And to start off real quick by talking about Impact Wrestling. And on Impact, on Access TV, we have Speedball Mike Bailey in action. And Savannah Evans takes on Jessica. She gets the win. And Eddie Edwards in a vignette that was shot on location outside somewhere actually buries PCO. And Eric Young and Sami Callihan is next. And Callihan, after the match, is attacked by those hooded individuals who have been helping EY as of late. And two of them are revealed to be Khan, the former Connor from WWE, the Ascension, and the former Five from the Dark Order, Alan Angels, is the other one to be revealed. And in the main event, Ace Austin defeats Moose with a little assist from Bully Ray. So pretty good episode of Impact there, as next weekend is their next Impact Plus special, Overdrive, as Josh Alexander will defend the Impact World Championship against the man who cashed in Option C, Frankie Kazarian. And also on Thursday night, sorry if the notes were a little bad there. I was multitasking, I guess you could say, watching two shows at once. Because not only was I watching Impact Wrestling, but also Thursday night on Pro Wrestling TV was MLW Battle Riot 4. This was pre-taped. And I'm sure you'll notice that once I start talking about this show. But let's get into it. First, we see Cesar, the former Dario Cueto from Lucha Underground, and Alex Hammerstone, the current MLW champion, defeats two of his masked men. And then we see Richard Holiday come out and attack Hammerstone with a chair. And now it is time for the Battle Riot match. First of all, just going to go over the entrance in this one. We have EJ Naduka, Calvin Tankman, Mr. Thomas, Lince Dorado, Ariz, and Microman, Mini Abismo Negra, And from Dragon Gate, we have the Estrella, Casey Navarro Kimchi, a blast from the past in case anybody who doesn't know. One of the handlers of Kamala in the WWF. And then we have Maximo Killer Cross, which, like I said just a minute ago, this was pre-taped before Cross returned to WWE. And we have Sami Callihan, who was on both shows Thursday night, MLW Battle Riot and Impact Wrestling. And next up we have the real one, Enzo, or formerly Enzo, I should say. And we have Gangrel, Quang the Ninja, another blast from the past there. The last two entries, actually. Bud Heavy, Little Guido, Davey Richards, Lance Anawahi, Homicide, Ricky Shane Page, Juicy. And then we have 8, one of the masked men from Cesar, and Dax, Jacob Fatu, Will Maximo, Warhorse, Myron Reed, and then 2 more of Cesar's masked men, M-Dog Matt 20, or M-Dog 20 Matt Cross, sorry about that, messed that up, and Matt Warner, Alex Kane, Savio Vega, Taya Valkyrie, Parker Boudreaux, and then the final 4. But before I get to that, if I missed any entrants, I apologize. I might have missed a couple. Like I said, I was also watching Impact at the same time. Now the final 4 is Jacob Fatu, Sami Callihan, Killer Cross, and the real one. And Callihan is eliminated by Fatu. And then Cross is gone. And then Fatu eliminates real one to win the Battle Riot to get an MLW title shot. I'm pretty sure anytime he wants is the stipulation. And then now let's skip ahead a little bit to Saturday, yesterday afternoon, for WWE Crown Jewel live from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And the commentators for the show, Michael Cole and Wade Barrett, which I was kind of surprised about. Maybe Corey Graves couldn't make the trip, because when they first made the switch with the commentary teams, changed them up a little bit, it was said that the announce team for the premium live events from now on was going to be Michael Cole and Corey Graves, but like I said, maybe couldn't make it for a reason. And there was the news recently that came out about Carmella. I'm not sure if that had anything to do with it or not, but Michael Cole and Wade Barrett on commentary, I thought they did a pretty good job. Wade Barrett, I think, has been doing pretty good on SmackDown. And we start things off pretty hot here. Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley. And the 2 big men. Of course, it was what you would expect. It was a big man match. 2 big men going at it. And don't get me wrong, it was a good match. I actually enjoyed the match. It's just that I thought the finish was a little flat. It fell a little flat at the end. Lashley actually dominated most of the match. And then we see him lock in the Hurt Lock on Brock Lesnar. And he tells the ref he doesn't want to give up. He's not going to. And then Lesnar goes towards the corner, put his feet on the top turnbuckle, and then able is to spring back and fall back onto Lashley and get the 3 count. So like I said, good match. but I thought that the finish wasn't quite as good as the rest of the match. But I definitely would not be surprised if we see another match between these two big guys. Not sure when that is going to be, when we're going to see Lesnar again this year, or maybe not this year actually, but I definitely wouldn't be surprised to see a rematch between these two. And then we have an interview backstage with Alexa Bliss and Asuka as they're getting ready for this match. And one of the most interesting things from this interview is that during it, Bray Wyatt's logo appears on the screen, and it throws Alexa off a little bit as she gets a little distracted, but she gets back into it, and it doesn't really play much of a factor in the match either. And that match is next for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Damage Control, Io, Sky, and Dakota Kai taking on Alexa Bliss and Asuka. Very good match here for the women's tag team titles. And then the finish, we see Nikki Cross interfere once again and attack both teams. But this allows Damage Control to get the win and win back the titles, I should say. Excuse me. After a short title reign for Alexa Bliss and Asuka, who just won the titles on Raw Monday night. Damage Control, once again, now 2-time women's tag team champions. And the steel cage match is next. Drew McIntyre taking on Karrion Kross, which wasn't a bad match, but I don't think it was anything rude for someone to call while somebody is doing a podcast, but sorry about that. Drew McIntyre and Karrion Kross steel cage match. Try to get back on track here. Definitely not a bad match. The finish sees Scarlett Bordeaux try to get involved, and then he locks the door so McIntyre can escape. So then he climbs the cage and gets out, and then she tries to unlock it for Cross, but she's not able to. McIntyre gets out first and gets the win. So, in a way, Scarlett actually cost Cross the match. And like I said about Lesnar and Lashley, I don't think this feud is quite over just yet. I think we're going to see at least one match between these two. Next up, the 6-man tag team match. The OC, AJ Styles and the Good Brothers, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, taking on the Judgment Day, Finn Balor, Damian Priest, and Dominic Mysterio with Rhea Ripley in their corner. I was kind of surprised, actually, that we did get a mention from Michael Cole that Carl Anderson is the IWGP Open the Neverweight champion, but of course he did not mention that it was because of Crown Jewel he wasn't able to make his title defense in Japan that day. But then we see Rhea Ripley get involved, and Balor hits the coup de grace on Styles to get the pin for the win. Judgment Day is victorious. Next up, another battle of the big men. A monster versus a giant. Braun Strowman taking on Omos. And at first, heading into this match, I have to admit, I kind of thought it might be a little slow with these two giants in there. But actually, I thought they worked a very good match, both guys. And on SmackDown the night before, they had the angle where MVP was taken out by Braun Strowman. He was not there at Crown Jewel, so it was just one-on-one. Braun Strowman getting the win. Once again, very good match here. This one surprised me. It was better than I thought it would be. And next up, the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Championships are on the line. The Usos, Jimmy and Jay, taking on the Brawling Brutes, Butch, a.k.a. Pete Dunne, and, why can't I think of his name now? I don't know why, I just blanked for some reason. I can't think of his name for some reason. I don't know. I didn't write it on the notes here for some reason, and just can't think of his name now. And the Usos get the win to retain the championships for the Bloodline. And the Raw Women's Championship is on the line. Last woman standing, Bianca Belair taking on Bayley. These two, of course, like most last woman / last man standing matches, they brawl all over, weapons involved, and very good match, I thought. Belair gets the win to retain the Raw Women's Championship, and then next up is Bray Wyatt. He is interrupted on the screen once again by Uncle Howdy, which could be Bo Dallas, which is a lot of people think. Who knows if it is or not. We'll just have to wait and see here, but he didn't say much. It was pretty much the usual the stuff he's been saying. And then Uncle Howdy said, you can't run from me or something like that, I think. And then the main event for the Undisputed Universal Championship, Roman Reigns and taking on Logan Paul. And this one, good match. Like I said, this Logan Paul, for 3 matches so far, he's not a bad worker. And I'm not saying he's real great or anything, of course, but he's not bad for someone who is new to the business. And so it was a pretty good match, actually. Ridge Holland. I don't know why that just popped in my head now, but yes, the other Brawling Brute, Ridge Holland and Pete Dunne, or Butch, I should say. I don't know why I couldn't think of it when I was talking about the match, but Ridge Holland, sorry about that. And then let's get back to the main event. The Usos get involved, and then we see Logan Paul's brother, I think his name is it Jake? I think he got involved, and then I know I need to take better notes, and I plan to hopefully improve on my note taking one day, but luckily, for which I'm sure most wrestling fans were hoping for, Roman Reigns hits Logan Paul with the Superman punch, and then the spear, and is able to get the win, retain the Universal Championship. So he ends Crown Jewel still as the undisputed, reigning and defending Universal Champion, the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. And like I said, I'm sure most wrestling fans were in this one. Roman Reigns does the babyface, I'm sure, for most pro wrestling fans. But I have seen now where Logan Paul, was it a torn ACL, I think? That's not good, obviously. Hopefully send him a speedy recovery. And I'm fine with them having matches and working shows, WrestleMania, the bigger ones. But I definitely did not want to see WWE put the Universal Championship on them And just think, if you're thinking of this as like a real sport, Roman Reigns has been the Universal Champion for over 2 years now. Nobody in the company has been able to beat him. He's been undefeated, hasn't been pinned. And then how would it look for the company if this Logan Paul comes in, his third match ever, and is able to defeat Roman Reigns? How would that make the rest of the locker room look? But luckily, Roman Reigns retained, and that was Crown Jewel. Let me know what you thought, either here in the comments on Spreaker. I think Spreaker has comments, or the comments on YouTube, or anywhere you're listening if they have a comment section, or the email. Let me know what you thought of Crown Jewel or Impact Wrestling this week, or what do you think of MLW, now on Pro Wrestling TV, 360 Wrestling Podcast at gmail.com. Speaking of Pro Wrestling TV real quick, it is a great app. I have it on Roku. I think you can also get on like the Apple App Store or the Google Play, or might be other things too, but I'm not sure. But whatever you have, check out if you can get it. Pro Wrestling TV. It's a great app. Like I said, MLW, other indie promotions on there as well. AAA is on there, and very good free wrestling app, and really good content on there. I definitely recommend checking it out. Thank you for tuning into this episode. Hope to be back soon. And I'm thinking about trying something tomorrow, something different. And I don't want to say what it is right now, but just in case it doesn't work out and I'm not able to do it tomorrow. But stay tuned for Monday, November 7th. I might try that. No promises, but just stay tuned. But until the next episode, I am Lance, and I am a wrestling fanatic.